But since you're a true expert on the craft of building music, who are current artists that you currently appreciate? And what does a song have to do to make it your regular listening playlist? I guess is my question.
Um, well, I mean, like a current artist, I mean, he's current still, I would suppose, is John Mayer. I just I like it's the melodies of his song and the production quality, because he works with, like, I love that drummer Steve Jordan, who has produced some of his records, and the people he works with I really respect, and there's a certain musicality to what he does that I always am looking forward to his next record, and it's the kind of music that I can, put on my computer and listen to all day, and just enjoy. Like it's like, because it's contemporary music, but it's not trying to like break new ground. I guess I could say.
Paradise Valley is like, I listen to Paradise Valley at least that album, I don't know, 3 times a week, something like that. I love that album.
Nice.
So he's, I guess that's the first kind of current artist that comes to mind. I'd have to look at the current top 40 to, to see who's out at the moment. The artist who won record of the year, the young female artist who, don't show this, that I can't remember her name.
It's okay. We won't sound it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Here, I'm looking it up right now.
I'd be interested to know too. Do you?
Billie Elish? Is that who you're talking about?
Oh, Billie Eilish. Yeah.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah.
I like her.
I mean, like, I really think like she's got like a fresh sound, and I think she's amazing, and I love listening to her because she has like a unique quality where it's her.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of music production too, it's interesting the way they record her voice. It's like, it's so close, it's like, that's really like whispered in your ear kind of recording technique. I don't know exactly how they do it except close miking, but it's a cool effect. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they have, because there's so many now, like good quality condenser, probably tube microphone, Royer makes stuff that's like a condenser tube mic that's not that expensive, that's really high quality. And there's other manufacturers too. And she did all of that, I believe, in her house.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and so, she probably learned enough about mic technique to go, when I'm singing soft, I got to be right up on the mic. She used a good quality microphone, and, got the dog to not bark and stuff,
Yeah. It's cool what you can do in a bedroom now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I think her brother is a sound guy, or helps out with that.
Yeah, because her brother got producer of the year for doing that record, and it got a record of the year. And it's not, I mean, it's got just like a fresh, innocent quality about it, and like her brother has good production ideas. And if you listen close to that record, there's really interesting vocal effects, and they'll do like a bunch of reverb or delay on a couple of key phrases and stuff, but they do it in a really tasteful way. I think there's another guy that was the engineer. I don't know exactly who did what, but that's a really well-crafted record that I like a lot. Yeah.
Do you, speaking of modern techniques, old techniques and everything, have you noticed any trajectories or stuff that's not often talked about or is commonly talked about over, let's say, going from like the 70s all the way up to today? Technique, like things that you like or things that you dislike about where it's all going?
No, I mean, now there's just so many different ways to get a cool sound. Like you can do it in your bedroom. You can set up, like there's a studio near here in Van Nuys called Sound City. And like they've got a really good track record now of doing some like pretty popular hit music. And I haven't been there lately myself, but they probably have it set up so it's like they have like a nice room and good gear, and they can, set stuff up so it's only how they want it. And I know lots of people now who have really good studios in really good places because you can do it for an affordable amount of money. Like when I get hired to produce a song, a lot of times I'll do it one at a time. Like I'll go to each musician's studio, and I work a lot with this guitar player, Tim Pierce, and he's got this amazing studio with his, where his guitar amps are isolated down below in his garage. And he's got like about 50 guitars, and he's got killer preamps, and it's just an amazing sound. And you just sit and hear it through little speakers, and it sounds like $1 million. And then I'll go to I'll go to like a drummer studio. Like my friend Kenny Aronoff has a really good studio in like a little complex not far from me in North Hollywood. And so like most musicians have a really good home recording setup. And after I get to know somebody, I can even send them the files if that's how the schedule works out. And so I send the files on Dropbox, and they do it in their studio and send them back. And if I don't like it, I tell them, and they'll adjust things. But normally I get what I need because I can just go through it and use the parts I want.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're actually piecing together a full track, but they're recording it completely separately in separate studios. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. There's, I think, a Flying Lotus album, You're Dead, and to me it sounded like an actual jazz recording. I could have sworn everyone was in the same room, but it was all recorded separately. I just couldn't believe that the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice because I get to do recordings where everybody plays at the same time.
Yeah.
And either I mix it like at the time, or I just record everything and then do the final mix later. But as they're playing, I'm mixing, and it's kind of done when they play it. But I mean, so I guess the tricky, and so it's faster. Like we can make a whole record in 3, 4, 5 days, and it's done.
Wow.
But if the schedule allows, or the schedule might dictate that we can't all play together, then I'll do the other. I'll do the opposite. I'll do it everybody one at a time, or maybe I'll come up with a rhythm part with like I'll program a drum part, and then have the guitar play to that, and then have the drummer play to that. And then like I could construct it either way, and it just depends upon the project, and sometimes the people, like you can't get all the people together. So if you want to work with them, you have to send things and do them virtually. So usually the project dictates which method I use.
Yeah, I guess the project, or now quarantine, probably is having a big effect on everyone.
Yeah, right. There is that. Yeah,
the whole democratization of these recording studios is cool though, because I think more than most industries, it's like audio used to be really difficult to get high quality, but now stuff like you said, the mics have gotten cheap enough, the techniques for getting like sound dampening and stuff are good enough that people can really pull it off, even just in the last 10 years, I guess. But yeah, it's a cool.
You could there's because I spend a lot of time researching speakers and stuff, and so that when somebody asks me what to get, I can give them a few examples of what kind of a digital setup they need, or should they really record to analog or not, or what gear they or if they want a certain guitar sound. There's a guy down the street who's got every vintage guitar and amp that I know of. And so there's putting together a studio for a lot of people makes a lot of sense, because then they're not stuck, using somebody else's setup.
Yeah, I guess it's similar too to how cameras have improved. Now there's artificial intelligence, auto or shaking stabilization stuff. So we should see a lot of cool amateur films pop up, hopefully, in the near future. It's kind of fun.
Okay, so this is kind of a fun one. What is